Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the next episode of The Foally of Man. In this episode, we'll be looking at Chapter 6, The Truth of the Matter. 'Tis better to be alone than in bad company.
Would you say it's the truth of the matter?
No.
Also,
really
you address the audience as ladies and gentlemen. Shouldn't it be...
mares and gentle colts, even though it's gentle stallions, but for some reason in the show, they refuse to
Way to
address
infantilize
stallions.
Everyone. Way to infantilize.
They actually did that in one of the episodes where there was a wedding, and she's like, I now pronounce you mare and colt. And everybody's like, really? Really? Wow. Way to just, emasculate the dude completely.
I'd say cougar, but I have a feeling that would make ponies nervous. Cougar, where? So you are
Chris.
And I'm Robert.
Yes. I know a lot about ponies. You
don't want to know a lot about ponies.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You're a brony, I'm not a brony. That's the crux of the show.
Yep, and that's where everything comes into play. Okay, so we're reading from Fallout Equestria. We're reading the chapters. It's all fantastic. This chapter, not much in the way of scenery happened, but we did a lot of exposition. So you hear from the audio tape that Little Pip found in the stable from before. You hear, or she finds out that it's run by a woman or a mare named Scootaloo. You're in a bar during this time. I mean, like almost the entire chapter takes place in a bar. And you hear about Red Eye, and you hear about the Sprite Bots, and you hear about them going to Old Appaloosa and how they're slavers, and they're going up there because DJ Pony, who's a voice on the radio, who is in no way related to Three Dog, told our heroine that the other stable pony is there. Our heroine made her valiant way to Old Appaloosa. Valiantly made her way through several of the slavers, only to find out that Velvet Remedy is being held inside.
Yes.
Bum, bum, bum.
Velvet Remedy finally shows. Also, I have a new rule for the show. Anytime you mention the 3-word, I feel like we have to, for old time's sake.
What?
Well.
Okay, so My Little Pony.
Give an example. So if you were to say his name.
Whose name?
You know. Mr. 3D. Come on.
Oh, no. I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not saying.
Yes.
We're not.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I hated that about the character.
You have to do it.
DJ Pony.
No.
Three Dog.
Three Dog! Ow!
Christ in heaven. God, I hated that character so much for that. I was like, I turned on the radio, and the second that I heard that call, I just wanted to turn it straight off and wonder why anyone enjoyed this.
Hello there, survivors of the wasteland. Three Dog here.
Phoning it in for all that.
There are people, he's one of those characters people love or hate.
Yeah. I want to love him more, but every time I see him, he's such a massive pain in the ass. It's like, yeah, I could tell you where your father went, but first, I need you to run on this quest. Fuck you.
Yeah. Okay, so DJ Pony and Velvet Remedy and yeah. So what's the name? I'm forgetting the name of the bartender pony.
Oh, Apple Whiskey, was it?
Yeah, it threw me off. I thought we were talking about a product.
Yeah.
And it is a product.
Wild Pegasus.
Yeah, but it's this. But he's the only one who can make it.
Yeah, Wild Pegasus, not to be confused with Wild Turkey.
And that's how we find out about the slavers, is because he trades with the slavers, and of course,
well, the town New Appaloosa trades with Old Appaloosa, which is the reason Calamity says, "This is the reason I don't stay in town."
Yeah. It's interesting when you're desperately trying to survive here that there's lines that you're drawing. You know what I mean? That it's like,
I mean, everybody's got something.
I'll murder people, but I'm not going to trade with slavers. Okay.
Well, I mean, hey, some people are weird about that. They're like, I'm willing to.
Some ponies. Some
people too. I mean, I've met some people, okay, who would be starving, but you hand them one dish and they'd be like, no. It's like, but you said you were starving, but I don't want that.
We've also found out that Little Pip just isn't much of a fan of a battle saddle at all.
No.
And what is it? Is it what's her gun? Little Macintosh?
Yes, Little Macintosh.
Little Macintosh, that's right. And there was the same symbol on Little Macintosh was on something.
Big Macintosh.
Big Macintosh, that's right. So
there's a character from the show who is the brother of Applejack.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I understood some of that.
Okay. What you really need to take away from it, I think it's actually explained in that chapter. I'm having a hard time remembering it because I kind of glossed over that part. Iron Shod Firearms belongs to Applejack, and she named the gun after her brother.
So Applejack exists in this universe?
Yes. Almost all of the actual in-show characters exist in this universe.
Really?
Yes.
So Twilight Sparkle.
Yes.
Pinkie Pie.
Yes.
Oh, God. Let's just hope Velvet Remedy doesn't make her way back to My Little Pony.
Yeah, about that. Anyway. Not giving away too much of what happens.
Well, I was going to say, so what's the community? Does the community like Velvet Remedy? I mean, we don't know anything about Velvet Remedy.
Velvet Remedy is kind of polar. You're about to meet a lot about her, and what you're going to meet about her, and what you meet about her in the future is the reason that the love-hate relationship with Velvet Remedy is so polarizing. However, I want to say that one side exists far above the other, but I'm not going to tell you because what I say may sway, obviously, your decision of what comes to the story.
I also want to point out, so with the introduction of the Flamer pony, would you say that our little Ponyta has evolved into a Rapidash? I know.
Well, she wasn't lit on fire, so not yet.
Yeah, no. Not. Let's see. What else do we have here? So we meet Velvet Remedy. Oh, and also, Little Pip doesn't like cigarettes. Shocker. What a fucking narc. Yeah, narc pony.
However,
the narc
notice
face.
this is also she also tries out, even though she's a narc, she tries out the party time Mentols.
Oh yeah, that was interesting and was hooked.
Yeah.
Immediately, like, ooh, I feel great. I'm the life of the party.
This is a sensation altogether new to me, and frankly, I love it.
Well, and I thought it was interesting that Calamity was like, no, you can't have any more of those.
Yeah. It's like, no, just one to get over the hangover, and then you're fine.
So another thing we've touched on from the series and in this book is addiction. You know, it's another element. So there's not a lot of meat in this chapter per se. So how about we address a couple of the other segments?
Okay.
For the show. So last week we asked for a couple of listener questions, and we have them. We have listener questions.
Yes.
So first of all, thank you very much for the listener questions. And the first one to get us rolling here from Tinker. Thank you, Tinker. What would you guess Little Pip's special is?
I'm gonna go off yours because I already know like the rundown of everything the community has ever come up with.
Well, let's talk about. Okay, so it's been something that's been debated.
Yeah, but I mean, pretty much everyone is in agreement to what it needs to be.
Okay.
But unfortunately, a lot of what it's based on comes later.
Right. Okay. So also, for those that don't know what special is, it stands for strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck.
Yeah, it's your stats.
Right. Absolutely. Well,
base stats.
I'm just trying to be.
Oh no, I mean I'm clarifying because
yes.
You can say special and you can say those words and people are like, what does that mean?
Yes, it's an acronym. So, I would say that
acronym is a collection of. My friends say that I'm facetious and elitist. It means I talk down to people.
No. Anyways, so strength. I would say Little Pip is pretty low on the strength index.
Yeah,
and I would say perception about average.
Yeah.
I would not super duper high. Endurance, by nature of being a unicorn pony, I would say would be quite low.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah, well, because the Earth ponies are naturally you'd think would have higher endurance
and strength. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, not super high on the charisma scale.
You are correct.
Yes. However, high intelligence.
Yes.
And I would say decent agility, but not super agility. And then I think that probably the highest stat for Little Pip is luck.
Yes, luck is definitely the carry
weight
weight here.
Through the roof.
I started learning that if you were in a Fallout game, don't put anything in luck because luck affects very little in the actual universe because the story is written before anything happens.
Correct.
But if you were actually set in a Fallout universe, like you were actually placed in one...
And luck is an actual parameter.
Yes, put it all on luck. Even if you can buff it to the point where you get like 15 luck, get 15 luck.
So what if there is debate in the community, not that we're going to start a flame war, but like what is most of the debate about special, or is it just generally consensus?
It's general consensus.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some back and forth, but The only trick on there is that people would place agility higher.
I think that Little Pip's quiet strength actually translates to a high endurance stat. So
no.
All
Strength
right.
of will, though, I will give her that.
All right, Chris, you ready for another question?
That's almost stubbornness. Okay, sure.
All right. From Falling Pictures Productions, if this goes well, will you tackle other Fallout Equestria works?
I think it's really dependent upon you. Like, I could do a lot of them.
I was gonna say you can talk about almost all
Yeah,
of them.
I mean,
you read War and Peace.
Yeah, I mean, I've read the story that we're not going to say the name of because I guarantee you that if we discuss that on here, it's going to start a goddamn flame war. Don't start.
There's already
a
been some
goddamn flame
discussion
war.
in the comments, so I'm aware of
Project Horizons.
I'm aware, but you know, here's the deal: we will cross that hurdle when we get to it.
Yes.
And in the meantime, obviously, I'm open to the discussion. I'm open.
But you're not chomping at the bit.
It's like cancer. It's like
cancer, but it's cotton candy flavored.
It's like I've gotten through chemo and I've beaten it, and now it's 2 years later, and here you are again.
Hey, yeah. However, you're the one that enjoys it, so I don't want to hear it, Mister.
So in answer to that, yeah. We've already talked a little bit about some other things that we're going to do. I don't know if it will be specifically Fallout Equestria.
Again, it depends on how the story goes. If you get to the end of this and you're like, damn, I need more, then yeah, we have more.
I think at the end of this, I mean, I've already been open to the idea since I know so little about the universe. We've talked about maybe potentially watching some of the show.
Yeah.
And having reactions to that, maybe some certain hand-selected episodes.
Yeah.
In the comment section, if you're listening, let us know. What would you be interested in hearing our kind of, our perspective on? Because obviously my perspective is going to be, this is nice, but why?
And that's absolutely fine.
So I also feel a little vindicated. Another comment from Arcane Scroll sent something that looked legitimate to me. I'm not going to do research. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I don't care. So I'm not going to verify if this is real, but it looked real to me. Last week I mentioned to you that Fallout 3 instead of Fallout 3 was a missed opportunity. And you're like, yeah, I'd never seen that. Well, it turns out one of the original pieces of fan art for Fallout Equestria featured Fallout in big bold letters over the image of the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, one of the actual things that got me to read the story in the first place was a picture I saw that was Sweetie Belle, like, in a suit of power armor from Fallout 3, like, looking all sad, and I was like, oh, this is cute. I wonder if there's actually Fallout My Little Pony things. And then this happened, and, well, where the hell is my life gone?
You woke up 3 years later in a cold sweat. Oh, God.
What has my life become?
I had this strange dream that Pinkie Pie was in.
Yeah, there's going to be a few things that I will say. One thing about this story: there are a few things that are almost tropes in stories that KCAT does very well. And there's actually one thing that I want to see if you pick up on. It's actually at the end of the story,
right?
But it is a trope.
Spoilers.
It is a trope. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I've never heard anyone even mention that they noticed this. But I figured it out, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
Hey man, nobody else figured this out but me, man. All right. So, all right.
I'm sure a lot of people have, but I haven't heard anyone mention it, so I'm not going to be like, oh, this is totally a thing.
All right, Chris, you can put the tinfoil down. Funny note: tinfoil actually amplifies radio waves
in your brain,
and conductivity in your brain. Yeah,
it centralizes and focuses on your central cortex.
I just think it's so funny to me that this idea that it block it out and it actually makes it worse,
and it could actually cause bad problems.
We have a new segment to the show this week.
True.
Would you like to intro it?
It is
maybe I can put together a little piece of music to go along with it.
The pony puns of the week. Okay.
Puns plural?
Well, I've come up with two.
Okay.
It's pony pun of the week, but yeah, I'm adding an S. So it's based on our last chapter. I don't know if we actually made this joke. I can't remember. I keep trying to remember, and I haven't had time since I realized what the pony pun should be. To actually check that this wasn't in the last chapter. But based on the events, like the actual test study done of Stable 24, I have come up with the two puns, Maresogyny and Mistalliandry.
Oh, God. Ugh. And that was the pony pun of the week. God. Oh.
Misogyny and Miss Stallionry.
What? You got to hit me with that first one again.
Misogyny.
Oh, God.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like a little baby Jesus being born with a little golden ring around his head, and I'm smiling at you, but it just feels awful.
Oh my! I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh, jeez. And okay, that was the pony puns of the week. So, I did want to make a note. So the show is available for download as a podcast. Mm-hmm. We have it on the YouTube. We will, we have the pure base RSS feed. Yep. And we will, I'll eventually submit it, to some other podcast directory. But my feelings are, I don't care what podcast directory you use, but if you're like, I only use this app or whatever, come on, get an aggregator. That's what everybody else uses for podcasts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've got it in iTunes. We've got it in Google Play Podcast. That to me, and we've got the RSS.
We did get iTunes?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And for those out there who do actually only listen to ours, transmitted as binary and smoke signal, we have tried to come up with an automated system for that. It is coming soon.
Yes,
but that's valve time. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's that's why you get it 3 days later. It takes time.
Yeah, and then you have to compile it.
1 million lines of BASIC.
Oh no.
So I don't have many other impressions. I think for some reason it was strange to be like Little Pip drinking alcohol, because it's the first time we'd seen Little Pip consuming alcohol at any point. Really, it's kind of the first time it's been mentioned.
Her mother was drunk, or is a drunk.
When was that brought up? I didn't know that.
Her mother drunkenly saying, "Little Velvet Remedy's barn doesn't swing that way."
I just don't remember her saying drunkenly.
Oh. Well, maybe if it had in the story, but it's not a spoiler, so there you go.
I mean, it's okay. So, okay.
There's a problem going back to the story after reading the whole thing is that certain parts may not be exposed yet, but it's not a pivotal plot point.
Right. Well, and talk about the booze, talk about the cigarettes. Cigarettes are very valuable to the other ponies that smoke them. How the frick a pony lights a cigarette? You know what? Please tell me it doesn't involve a battle saddle, because that just sounds very dangerous.
For some, it may, but only as a party trick. I'm thinking for unicorns, clearly they should have fire magic. I mean, It's pointed out that they're supposed to have a whole slew of spells.
But you know as well as I do that Earth ponies predominantly are the users of cigarettes. It just goes along with it.
Sir, we cannot talk about this. Don't bring up crime statistics on pony races, okay?
Hey, man, all I'm saying is better wipe than stripe. That's all I'm saying.
You racist.
We need to build a wall to keep striped ponies outside of Equestria.
Of all of the I can't remember the poem now. I take it back.
All right, that's fine. Well, I don't have anything else to add. So that was chapter 6.
Yep.
And next week will be chapter 7.
Yes, which actually may be quite a bit more interesting if I'm not mistaken. Because these next few chapters, they're a little less episodic and they start running together a great bit. So I can't remember which chapter runs into which other chapter.
So,
from Chris,
I'm Robert.
Thank you for tuning in to The Full Out of Man.
Don't you start stopping it!